Hi, Matt Kinders here, AEP 858 with the case study of Truman Elementary. So, the problem identification for Truman Elementary. What do I know? This is my second year as the principal at Truman Elementary. We are the largest of the elementary schools in the district. We have 700 students, and we have grades pre-K to 8, and that consists of 3 classes per grade level. Grades 7 and 8 are split into teams. Also, demographics, 15% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch, and 5% of our student population are English language learners. What do I know about our achievement and perception within the school district? Parents are unhappy with reading instruction within the school, and they bring up note of spelling instruction and other phonics instruction, and mistakes that are not being addressed by their students when they speak with them. We also know our students do worse in reading than in math based on the assessments that we have. We know our cohorts are losing ground in their reading progress, and the reading progress is declining grade on grade. And our reading specialist confirms that the language arts program is not sufficient for student needs. What our district reading specialists identified in their internal analysis that I asked them to conduct, they found that the teachers are following the Basel Reading Curriculum program almost entirely, in that there is little individual or small group skill development. There's also skill instruction for reading and writing predominantly occurs within these Basel parameters of the Basel instruction for our language arts program, which means there is little to no differentiation in skill instruction regardless of individual performance. So students who are advanced who are beyond the level of the Basel program will find themselves bored with the lessons themselves, and students who need more support might not receive the instruction and the individualized attention they might require in order to come back up to grade level. Strategic reading is also only taught in a few classrooms, so only a few of our teachers have more of experience in particular skills, and reading instruction is not delivered in accordance with recent research on what is effective. So what do I need to know after all this, the problem identification? I need to know what types of training have my teachers had in regards to language instruction. Do some of my staff require training in some other areas, such as phonics, phonetics, strategic reading, writing, spelling, and reading? So it seems as if some of my staff is capable of teaching particular skills, and some of my staff are basing their instruction entirely on the Basel program. Also, what are the perceptions of my staff regarding language arts and its place in the curriculum? An interesting thought about this is the staff valuing this subject the way it should be, especially considering that only 5% of our total student population are English language learners? So if our staff is treating some aspects of English language as has been finished and doesn't need to be reviewed, or required for new students who come in grade on grade, and just moving with more advanced English curriculum, this could be harming even the native English speakers in the classroom, as well as hurting the progress made by our ELLs on top of that. Another question is, what performance data are we maintaining to track student progress? It seems to me we would need to require more formative, interim, and summative assessments on top of the state levels of our records that we're already maintaining. The interim benchmarks need to be set more often so that the teachers are aware of the individual needs and requirements of our students, as well as the formative assessments at the beginning of each year will help our new teachers and new students set the benchmark for where they are in the level, and then teachers will be able to utilize that information to deliver more individualized attention throughout the classroom. And the last question I have, what is the teacher-student ratio per classroom? It could be that our teachers are just overwhelmed. If we have since we are the largest school, our student population might be a little bit higher and than what we can do to accommodate all the students. So we might need to hire more teachers or specialists, and as well as we can draw on any ideas that parents may have if we reach out to our community in order to assist our reading teachers' performance. So identifying the problem, our teachers are not differentiating instruction to meet the needs of individuals. Whole group instruction being the primary mode of teaching during the English block. Teachers are not giving credence to the importance of phonics instruction and reviewing other lessons in past grades. Much of the staff is fixed in teaching skills specifically locked into the Basel program of reading and writing skill development. We also require more interim assessments to be conducted and assessed to assist students in their progress throughout the term. Individualized learning needs to be taken into consideration for the variable needs of all students, whether they're advanced students or students who need more personalized instruction to bring them up to grade level. And benchmarks seem to be undervalued, and sharing information for establishing benchmarks within the grade are withdrawn or omitted from the staff function throughout the year, which is something we need to improve. So the proposed plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. The first thing I do, discuss the results of this internal observation of the English Language Arts program at the next parent-teacher organization meeting and outline the actions that will be taken to address the challenges identified. The second thing I do is compile historical data of school performance and translate it for the application for the federal grant in order to receive additional funding to improve our current program. So the grant being the Every Student Succeeds Act, whereby each school can earn up to $350,000 to improve student progress in one of their achievement levels, or a district can earn up to $500,000 to be dispersed among the schools in that district. So I found that based on the findings of our achievement history conducted by our assessment results, we find that Truman qualifies for this grant. If we earn this grant, it can enormously benefit our school and our students and the teachers in improving the students' performance in English language arts. The third thing I do is create a leadership team within the school to research current practice for meeting student needs in English language arts. So our leadership team would look to differentiate instruction in multiple skills. How can we assist our current teachers in differentiating, specific skills taught in pre-K, grade 1, grade 2, as well as how do you differentiate individual skill instruction across those grade levels. And we'd also look to how to meet the needs of advanced students and support others within the classroom. The fourth proposed plan of action would be to create methods for teachers to collaborate with other teachers to improve instruction. The first thing that comes to mind would be a web portal within our school where teachers can share ideas and material and content, and as well as research, so that all teachers have access to it at any time throughout the year or the day of the week. We'd also want to utilize infographics for teachers to display for their use within their classroom or their office in regards to types of instructional practice that we'd like to shift to that are most beneficial for teaching particular skills. This is to increase confidence of and as well as teacher awareness throughout the transition period to this new system of focusing on English language arts. I would also like to have teacher mentors in particular skill traits who are strong with particular skills and are very knowledgeable about classroom activities. And these teacher mentors can be assigned within our local school, and they can achieve a greater wealth of information to a higher amount of the teacher population within Truman. A fifth thing I do is to shift to a method of data disbursement that allows students more freedom to assess their strengths and challenges within their progress to take charge of their studies. Programs that come to mind that allow more student freedom to identify where they are struggling and where they have high skills. Programs such as iReady or eCart or Google Forms and Flubaroo. These all have ways to allow students to identify their grade level standing and their progress in their class. So resolving the issue based on promoting the success of all students. What is best for the students? What I think is best is shifting from whole group instruction to smaller group instruction. The strategy for this, provide training to staff with new teaching methods as researched by leadership team and disseminated in collaborative training. This collaborative training obviously being very frequent at the beginning of the shift towards improving our English language arts program and continuing month on month, term on term, year on year. We would like to provide ongoing support to staff throughout the changes and maintain awareness of challenges faced by educators in this transition period. So, what is best for the students? Individualized plans of study to accommodate varying needs in the classroom. We've identified that cohort changes year on year demonstrate fluctuating needs of the students. The strategy for this is to train our teachers to provide them with more skills in order to help the students progress in their studies. And again, continue more support as this transition is ongoing. We need more language arts time throughout the day and the week. Our strong areas, such as math and science, demonstrate that more time can be devoted to language arts instruction. So as a principal, I would work to adjust the schedule of the school to accommodate the change in order to most benefit the students as necessary in regards to improving their English language arts program. We might also consider hiring more teachers, paraprofessionals, or community volunteers and other staff as needed in order to achieve these goals in increasing performance. I would also like to ensure that the building blocks of language are revisited for all students to master phonics and phonetic skills and other necessary skills, reading, spelling, writing, all of this. Our year-on-year changes demonstrate that skills are lost as students progress through each year. We need to provide, again, more training to assist teachers in feeling more confident in how they review this information and create utilizing benchmarks to ensure that the students in their classroom are meeting grade requirements and state requirements as they progress throughout the term. So what was I thinking and feeling as I responded to this case study? I know that early years education requires that students are capable of reading in order to begin studying more abstract ideas in higher grades. The foundations of English language must be identified, rehearsed, solidified, and mastered by grade 4 in order to offer students the greatest success beyond grade 4. And the chance for Truman Elementary to receive a grant based on achievement data by the school feels like a realistic opportunity for the school to afford change into the future. Some unresolved issues. There's not a lot of assessment data and collection of the data in regards to interim assessments for phonics, benchmarks throughout the term, reading assessments, etc. There could be a lot more that is utilized throughout the term in order to assist the teachers in their data collection, as well as benchmark students in their progress. It would be interesting to learn to follow up more about the possibilities of the grant being awarded, because that could be a massive, massive boost to our program as it is. That funding could provide for more teachers, more resources, more materials that could all be used by Truman Elementary. So Standard 8 is effective educational leaders engage families and the community in meaningful, reciprocal, and mutually beneficial ways to promote each student's academic success and well-being. So, reflecting on Standard 8, the first thing I do is presenting our data with the parent-teacher organization, the results of the internal interview of classroom policy and student achievement, reflecting our abilities. It's a challenge that we have, so a large shift is in order, and I would want them to understand this. Collecting data of student achievement to apply for grant opportunity is another, so that the parents understand that we are working with the federal level to acquire more resources. We'd also talk about providing ongoing training to staff with weekly review and monthly review as transition continues. So the policies, all of this, essentially reaching out to the community again. hoping that the Board of Education applies us for the ESSA grant, and we need to be sensitive with student data as well.